Muslims have played an essential part in guarding the homeland and fighting for its interests in war-torn countries the world over, fighting in all major U.S. wars, including the Civil War, World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War, according to military officials. More recently, Muslims have also served in the Gulf War, Iraq War, and the war in Afghanistan. Here's what the numbers tell us. There are 5,896 self-identified Muslims currently serving in the military, according to the Department of Defense. This is out of a total of 1,313,940 active duty and 826,106 Guard and Reserve members, respectively. The Department of Defense offers service members the opportunity to identify their faith for inclusion in the Dependent Eligibility Enrollment System and on their identification tags. If you're wondering why, it's for a very practical reason, for burial practices and religious services in the event of death. It's important to note that of the 2.2 million in uniform, active or reserve, 400,000 service members have not self-reported their faith, so the total number of Muslims currently serving in the U.S. military is likely higher. America's Muslim population is just as willing or more willing to serve in the military than other segments of the population. More specifically, white Muslims are more likely than white non-Muslims among the general American public to serve in the military. The numbers in the poll came down to 17% versus 11%. The findings were listed in ISBU's American Muslim Poll 2022, a politics and pandemic status report. According to the poll, roughly 4 in 5 Muslims in America hold U.S. citizenship. However, Muslims are still just as likely to serve in the military as the general American public. The poll found that 11% of Muslims, 10% of Catholics and Protestants, 13% of white evangelicals, and 9% of the non-affiliated and the general public served in the armed forces. What the findings tell us is that American Muslims are part and parcel of American society, so it's not necessarily a surprise that we would find representation in the U.S. military, ISBU Research Project Manager and American Muslim Poll 2022 co-author Iram Ikramullah told Middle East Eye. The poll also specifies that white Muslims, 17%, are more likely than Asian, 4%, and Arab Muslims, less than 1%, to serve in the military. When it comes to black Muslims, they are just as likely as black non-Muslims to serve the U.S. Service by Muslims in the United States military dates back to the American Revolutionary War, where records indicate that there were some Muslims who fought on the revolutionary side against the British. Muslims have fought in all major United States conflicts, including the War of 1812, the American Civil War, World War I, World War II, and the Vietnam War. More recently, they have served in the Gulf War, the Iraq War, and the war in Afghanistan. The Army Chief of Chaplains requested on December 14, 1993, that an insignia be made to symbolize Muslim chaplains, and on January 8, 1994, a crescent-shaped design was produced. Muslims have fought and died in both World War II and the Vietnam War. Some Muslim Americans served in World War II in North Africa, Europe, and Asia. Additionally, at least 12 Muslims are known to have died in the Vietnam War. Before the abolition of slavery in America, many African Muslim slaves fought for the Union. 291 Muslims are known to have fought during the Civil War. Some sources claim that the highest-ranking Muslim officer was Captain Moses Osman, the son of Robert and Catherine Osman. However, Moses Osman was confirmed in the Zion German Lutheran Church in 1843 in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. The most highly ranked Muslim in the war may be Nicholas said. He came to the United States in 1860 and found a teaching job in Detroit. In 1863, Said enlisted in the 55th Massachusetts Colored Regiment of the United States Army and rose to the rank of sergeant. He was later granted a transfer to a military hospital, where he gained some knowledge of medicine. His Army records state that he died in Brownsville, Tennessee, in 1882. Another Muslim soldier from the Civil War was Max Hassan, an African who worked for the military as a porter. 5,000 Muslims are known to have fought for the US during World War I.